Hey, how's it going guys? This is Dave 2D, and today we're looking at the refreshed G752, that copper colored beast from Asus. It's been refreshed with the GTX 1070. Let's take a look. So 17-inch laptops tend to be big, but this one's always been particularly big, and it has an optical drive, so it's designed to be more of a desktop replacement than a device that you carry around regularly. In terms of its exterior, very little has changed. It's the same silver-colored aluminum top panel, silver-colored bottom paneling, but there's the big and bold copper accents that make this laptop very unique looking. It's still not real copper, it's still a polycarbonate, but the overall build quality on this laptop is really good. It's expensive. A model with the GTX 1070 starts at $2,500 US, but everything is built really nicely. The screen hinge, the rear exhaust, the fit and finish of everything is great. There's still some flex on the keyboard, but it's a wide 17-inch laptop. It just comes with the territory. Something I noticed this time around, this laptop needs a big desk to use it comfortably. If I use the laptop on a small desk where I'm forced to use it close to the edge of the desk, this corner here will dig into your wrist and it's annoying. But if I use it on a more spacious desk where I can put my arms onto the desk as well, it's a completely normal experience. And that's how I use my laptop. If you're interested in the G752, make sure you have lots of room so you can place your arms onto the desk as well. It has the same port selection as before, so individual audio jacks, Thunderbolt 3 port, display outputs, Ethernet, 4 USB 3s, and an SD slot. The keyboard and trackpad are unchanged. They're pretty good. The keyboard has macro keys you can program. The backlighting is red, which I don't love because I'm not a big fan of red. I kind of wish that at this price point it had like RGB lighting or something, but no, you're stuck with red. The trackpad is solid. It's got physical buttons, and the tracking is pretty nice because it uses Windows drivers, but overall, everything about the inputs are exactly the same as the previous generation. The internals are super easy to get to. There's one screw, and there's a pull tab to get in there. This unit has 32 gigs of RAM. It's actually factory overclocked a bit, a 1TB hard drive, and an M2 SSD. There's actually room for a second SSD, which is nice. Drive speeds are good. I'm glad they went with a fast SSD at this price point. The CPU is a Skylake 6820HK, so a bit faster than the super popular 6700HQ, and it's unlocked, so you can overclock it. I tried it just to see what it could do, and the software is really simple to use, but thermally, I couldn't get it stable at even 4 GHz, but seriously, it's plenty fast at stock. It has a GTX 1070, and the performance on this thing is awesome. It still blows my mind as to how close these cards are to their desktop equivalents. So running most games at 1080p is super easy on this card. Moderately demanding stuff like Overwatch or Black Ops 3 or Mirror's Edge, those are all around 100 frames per second at max graphics settings. Even something like Doom on Ultra can break 100 frames per second. The Division runs at around 75 frames per second on Ultra, a little bit less depending on the scene, and something like Witcher 3 will be really close to 60 frames per second. The screen on this model of the G752 has G-Sync and has a refresh rate of 75 Hz, so all of these titles will be capped at 75 frames per second if you have G-Sync enabled, and that's the tech that kind of reduces visual stuttering and visual tearing. But here's the deal, I'm a filthy casual, and to me, 75 frames per second is plenty smooth. But the thing is, a GTX 1070 can push way more than 75 frames per second for the average game at 1080p. So I feel like you're wasting a lot of this machine's potential by being capped at 75 frames per second. The one really good thing though is that the next generation or two of games, like as they become more demanding, will still run smoothly on a 75 Hz G-Sync panel. The panel is otherwise really nice. Matte finish, great color accuracy, good contrast, viewing angles, but I feel like the 75 Hz panel is more suited to a GTX 1060. A 1440p panel would be pretty cool because when you hook that one up externally, you still get awesome frame rates. It's only the super demanding titles like Witcher 3 that drop below 50 frames per second when you're running at 1440p. So thermally, this thing is very well cooled. It features a vapor chamber again. Temperatures are very comfortable. Fan noise, however, is a different story. It's still quiet on idle, but under load, it's louder than most 17-inch laptops. The benefit to these fans is that I'm experiencing no throttling even when running 3D Mark, so it's a very well cooled machine. Now with the increased fan noise, the speakers on this system are less enjoyable to use. If you've seen my original review, you'll remember that because of the positioning of the speakers behind the screen, there was already an issue where you lost some of the audio details in the upper frequencies, but the overall sound was decent. But now, with the elevated fan noise coming from the same area, the sound gets even more distorted, and you have to crank the volume pretty high to overpower it, so get some headphones, you'll want them for games and movies. The battery is 88 watt hours, and I kind of have mixed feelings about it. I feel like they could have gone to that 99 watt hour legal limit, but it would have been heavier, and realistically, at this kind of laptop size, you're probably not bringing it around to be used on battery life anyways. The AC adapter is pretty big. It's 230 watts, and it gets hot, like really hot, but that's gonna be pretty standard with this kind of performance. So overall, I like this laptop. It's a strong performer. The GTX 1070 is a beast, and I like the way that it looks. It's a design that kind of gets better over time as you look at it more and more, and that's pretty rare with gaming laptops. But in terms of value, you're not gonna get amazing value with this device, but what you will get is a really good performer with really nice aesthetics. And if that's what you're looking for, this is a really good option. That's the end of this video. Hope you guys liked it. Thumbs if you did, subs if you loved it. It's been nice. I'll see you guys next time.